Here comes the sun. Do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun. And I say, do-do-do-do. Take your shoes off. I'm inside. Where are my shoes upstairs? Oh my goodness. No, Mr. Bill. Mr. Bill. Oh. There you go. I feel like the fishing guy in that meme. There you go. Oh. I'm being so bad and so wrong. There you go. There you go. Oh, no. There you can't get it, boy. Oh, I brought it way over here. You came quick like a mug, man. What's good, bro? Oh, you down there in the hallway. There you go, right there. Oh, I'm just wrong. It's right. Oh, you almost got it there. Oh, it's coming back on. It's on the floor. Oh, there you go. Oh, it's back up here. Oh, it's back over this way. Oh, there you go. Oh, get it. Get it. Well, Uncle, look. Get it here, Uncle. Look. Get it. Get it. No, don't get on the mess. Let's drop my mess. All right, that's enough. Let me stop. That's just so wrong, right? That is just so wrong, right? That is like, ooh, red, ooh. I'm gonna tell. Y'all gonna tell you? I'm gonna tell nobody. We're gonna get this read now. You see, it's what time is it? I was all up in the screen. Didn't even look at the time. 15:14, 3:14. And I'm just now putting something in my stomach. Thank you, Rondo. I appreciate that. You know the retards got to come in. Benji, what's going on? Grand elevations. My beloved brothers. Get that like up, man. How you gonna come over here and not hit the like up, man? I know y'all watch stuff on this thing all day, but you got to support the channel, bro. I appreciate it, man. So we're gonna be reading today. I really appreciate it. Carl, y'all get them thumbs up coming in here, man. Y'all family, right? What's going on? You know it's gonna be something good now. Carl, where you go? You done ran out of here? Or did Benji Nance? Well, who left? Somebody just popped up and left? No, man. Ain't nobody gonna be doing what I'm doing, man. I know it's gonna be an arms rush when people start going through what they're gonna be going through here in the next 2 months. So they'll all be coming looking for an answer when they could have been here in the beginning. And I ain't gonna have an answer to give. I'm just gonna be reading. That's it. All the talking's gonna be done. Read. I mean, if people have patience and time, which they have a little of, they'll sit down and they'll just listen and start allowing themselves to see things. Back subscribing to some people. I think they're bull. These channels, this whatever. And all of a sudden, a whole bunch of questions, a whole bunch of people commenting, a whole bunch of comments popped up out of nowhere. I didn't see the comments or anything. And you know you have those come in here and think they know everything. I hope they're gone. Or they getting themselves together to come back, you know, and with better faculties than what they had. It's very disturbing. I wasn't ugly. It was not ugly. Some people were talking about things, and I was looking and I was like, Mom, really don't know what you're talking about, but I wasn't there to beat them up. I just, listen, people, if you're going to talk about something, at least to make sure you know more than what I don't know nothing, but this is giving you a reason to perceive something else. I'm not the know-it-all. I'm not. I always tell you, don't believe me, do the research. And I'm not saying that you have to believe anything that I believe. I'll let you know if I believe something. Most time I'm not saying whether I believe it or not. But I'll read things because it's the history that we see a lot of people talking about things. And a lot of y'all believe in all this other different stuff. And I'm sitting there going, how do you believe in that stuff without even having a reference or a source Just accept it because you heard it somewhere else. We can hear it 20 different ways somewhere else and it still be the wrong material. I didn't notify nobody this time. I was going to see how many notifications go around. So I says, you know, I'm going to discuss the thing on the quatrain of what everybody, well, I'm going to read stuff based on whether it's round or flat, whether giants exist or not. But it's to give a little more insight. I'm definitely not telling nobody to believe any of it. I want people to understand this. Now, we had a personal convo. Believe me, I wouldn't state it on this material in front of no camera. I would never allow, no. You might assume or believe you think you know what I believe, but you don't. A lot of you really don't know what my mind state is because this is a good battle. It's a battle, but it's a good battle. You need to hear me. You can't have no fear. The enemy might come right up in your face and tell you with nobody else around, be in the uniform with a badge, say, oh, I'm gonna kill you today. And nobody hear it. The thing not even on. And then, oh, it's got a gun. Boom, 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 boom. It happens all the time. That's just an example. I'm not saying this is gonna happen. You have to remove all the dynamics of fear that have been imposed upon you. Let me turn this down. My apologies. It's like I'm talking over this. This is 432 gigahertz. No copyright. Obviously, it's in the studio. Like I said, I only had 2 videos, and the one earlier, that was by accident. I didn't think it was going to start because there ain't no internet in my truck. I removed it because it's all messed up stuff that's not good for you. And if you want to elevate, you know, you do everything you can to assist in your elevation. Anyway, I'm going to read based on ideas, what I've seen, what I've heard, what people have dismissed, and what other people have spoken on with no conclusive evidence other than a lot of mouse gibber and jab. I know some people are going to get this notification late, and I know they wanted to be here, which surprises me that YouTube would go as far as to do that. But I don't want to speak bad on YouTube's behalf or this, that, and another. I don't believe there's any need. Wow, people have just been sending me all kind of messages, ain't they? Okay. No. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Anyway, I don't know. I guess some of y'all got the notification, but I don't know. I know. Some people live with too many secrets. Remember I did that little thing last month about the too many secret thing? There's no such thing. But anyway, I do watch a lot of videos, a lot of people's that are supposedly teaching, and I see so much misdirection. And like even with my body, like right now I just had my cachava with a little more than half of avocado. Let's give you about half a teaspoon of flax, coconut milk. Well, real coconut milk, not the stuff that real with coconut water for the thickness. A scoop and a half cachava and one banana, excuse me. And I blended it up, man. It's very thick, but it's so fluffy. And that's my first meal. I don't know, maybe it might be my only one. And the reason why is because, like I said, the body is always battling and the enemy is always pursuing you, especially once you seem like you've come into a little light. The enemy is right down here. The enemy looks like us, moves like us, talks like us, and besides talking other languages. And you would never know who that enemy is. I'm serious. The enemy looks just like you and I. Well hidden, adapted, mitigates this realm. Do I believe that? Oh, I do. That I do believe. And they want to see everything for themselves as if it's like a show, like a TV show. So they can see what is coming out of the fake history they put out here, the fake stories told, the people that mitigate, because you got to remember, the people that tell them a lot of these stories, everything I'm telling you might be all nothing but complete lies. I am serious, y'all. This whole, I'm not saying it is. I am just saying, this whole book right here, the Book of Giants, the Watchers, Nephilim, and the Book of Enoch. So then we got custodians, Anunnakis. We have, there's so many gnolls, trolls, just so much. Gnomes, just twa, midgets, pygmies. There are so many different. How do you find out what is real and what is fictional? Who is to say who created what or whatever? I'm telling y'all, I don't sit there and say there's a God or not. I tell you that as far as everything else, you are capable of so much more, and that's a fact. By those who have seen and watched and paid attention to even to what you have accomplished, and even knowing that you didn't accomplish something because you weren't ever, it was never made visual to you, the knowledge. Could this be one big dome of an experiment? That every once in a while that has to be a reset or has to be destroyed and they do it again? Listen, we're told that our people believed in one. I believe that there's a connection to the earth and that above. I do. I really believe there's a connection. I know that we see a lot of things could have been constructed. Here is a different perception in our timeline of existence. It's very possible. Well, yeah, what we have, we should deal with diligence, eloquently, and not with a perversion. And even though I'm speaking this aloud, I am expressing to you guys to speak in silence. Maybe I should have never said that out loud. I figured only one or two of you would know that by things I said, but the majority you wouldn't even make it to your head. So I came out and put it out there. Are you getting what I'm saying? There are weapons, brothers and sisters, that come in that they can aim, see you through the walls. Oh, this is real stuff, y'all. Take my word for it. The stuff I've seen in the military, underground, before a flat screen was a thing, or the ones like this. I'm talking about as big as my apartment, hanging off these room that's just so big with anyway, and you can see every aircraft flying everywhere, and the ones training doing the look. They can see you. If you're sitting there, are you rubbing? They can watch you. It could be a stream feed, directed weapon, miles away, right at you. Make you pick a signal up and react in a certain way at that moment. They can say in a community, knowing that you're going to shop at these places and target you specifically, no matter what is being bought, that doesn't affect nobody else but you dynamically. In that whole community, it doesn't matter unless you decide to eat everything you have staved up and hang in there the best you can. If they lose interest or not, listen, man. That's why you must know you're special. Who in the fuck would do all that unless we're just a big composite of experiments? Now, I believe that and I don't. I believe there's a lot more to it. Yeah, I really do. Like I said, I wasn't making it up. Unless that guy had some good prosthetics and makeup, but my brain was doing the Watusi from the night before. But my boy took off when my eyes went like that and like that. Look, man, that was real. I ain't been snatched up by no flying this UFO experiment. Not that I know of. Only experiments I know is right in my face, and me and my ignorance not knowing because nobody was there to elevate and tell me otherwise. Until we start talking after the fact. Oh wow, you ain't warning nobody? Man, you gotta be careful with that. What you mean, man? Somebody's out here attempting to hurt everybody, and you want to say nothing? What kind of stupidity is that? Don't even give nobody a fighting chance, huh? Anywho, you get where I'm coming from. I'm not to stir nothing, not to, stir the pot and, rock the baby to sleep or anything like that. There's a lot of things. Like, I'm always sitting there, like y'all saw me earlier, right? I was sitting there going, free me from this pattern. Free this pattern from me that's allowing this experience and this condition. I say and. Because one, to me, it equates the other, as well as the other equates the prior. And I would say that because it wasn't so much the anxiety, it was the fact that I could feel some of the things that come from that anxiety brings forth. And I was like, why? I'm good. And I remember I've been on this for 14, 15 years. I stopped once before for about almost a year. And then I fell off the roof, landed on my back, missed the pole, which would have impelled me. The neighbors saw and everything. That pain, that falling off the roof onto the back patio, landing and twisting to land on my back, doing one of them old like tucking twirls or, barrel flip, and landing on my back the way I did, building a doghouse too. The doghouse was sitting up there too. Lucky I ain't laying on that, I don't think. I was jacked up, and that pain brought the anxiety right back. Because I remember when I got in the cold water, I was letting it hit me, and I was like, man, am I having a heart attack? Oh man, the anxiety's back, and the numbness that happens in your arms and everything. But at the same time, coming off of such a heavy medicine, there are the things that come with the withdrawal. That's why I'm doing my best to eat as healthy as possible. This is for repairing. Now, I could just fast and allow everything to be, right? I believe that'd be a trial and tribulation. Is that fear? No. There's nobody guiding me. I'm taking this walk with myself. I don't know any other kind of way to explain it. And is it rough? I don't want to sit there and say it is. I'm literally going live every day, and this fight and I'm not giving it strength. You would think that I'm speaking a spell on myself. I am actually being very adequate when I'm stating, like, when my hands are feeling numb. Or I'm always saying, sit my posture right. Like, yo, Red, you look like you're slouching. There's people out here to say that, yo, Red, stand up straight. I'm like, oh, yeah, man. There's moments when I'm walking, and it's like, take a deep breath, and it's like a pat. And I'm like, it's not my cracking. And I'm like, but I don't focus on it. I remove the whole dynamic of it. And I'm sharing this with you because I said I don't have nothing to hide. How many years can you be poisoned by something that looks like this? Now, most people wouldn't even have this around them. They remove it because it would just be a cause and effect. How many people can be poisoned by something like this? And taking it two a day, and then getting down to half, to one of these every day, a half. Then getting down to cutting this in half and then taking only 2 halves. So that means from 4 quarters down to 2. And then just wake up one day and says, you know what? I've been doing this for how long? And then find out I was only supposed to do it for 4 to 6 weeks, not months, 4 to 6 weeks. I was sitting there saying they was just intentionally messing me up. From that Hindu damn doctor, that little Jewish, that little Ashkenaz doctor. And then this one over until he said, "Oh, you got to get another primary care physician." Oh, really? And then I get this young so-called, he claimed to be Army cook at the outpatient clinic over in Utah. And I says, you know what? So I got this guy over here who works at a Flagstaff, and the other guy who's a Vietnam vet. And they hooked me up with all kind of information, you know? And I was like, you know what? Let me do what I have to do, because nobody has my best intentions or my good steed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how righteous or how lovely or anything you are with certain people. It's about either the dollar, which is worthless, thanks to, you know, the Rockefellers and Nixon, and a few other individuals, I think Ford. So thanks to them, you know, the dollar's worth nothing. And they have attained the next position. So though the stock market utilizes your trust, they don't care anymore. What is causing that? So I realized that I had to stop no matter what happens. I can't use and take this stuff. I can't. Now, I don't mind taking every once in a while, if I don't have no rose petals, to take half an aspirin. Half of 81 milligrams means 40 and a half. I don't mind popping that every once in a blue moon. But even right now, I'm not taking that, y'all. It was prescribed that I end up taking the aspirin, 81 milligrams every day for the rest of my life. But that creates Ray's syndrome and a few other things. I says no more. I have to allow whatever is going to happen to happen. If I'd have knew what I know now back then, I would have allowed whatever is going to happen, regardless. And I can tell you this much, I know there's more to us than this flesh. But nobody can tell me otherwise. The thing is to keep people perplexed and confused. I'll deny that Jesus shit real quick, but I will not deny individuals doing what was done in the story, and I will not utilize the word God, even if that is the word. It doesn't matter, because if it's all great or them, you think that they're going to let us go without the knowledge of connection and truth? If that's the case, as far as order is concerned. But I know this much, there is an order, and we're outside of it. So me, I want to do the best I can to reestablish a connection, and just knowing that we will put outside of order. If that was the experiment, I'd rather reconnect no matter what experiment's going on. Do you get what I'm saying? I want to throw all caution into the wind, and I want to express something that is bigger than my ability right now to be able to process the distinction, in thought, and make it relative to our existence, and the distinction of it. Excuse me, I had to get these words right. I felt like, what's the name off Wayne's World? I want the discombobulate, to commemorate, to the disbobulate, to the you know. Anyway, so there are days like when I'm lifting, doing dumbbell fly, like shoulder presses, or I'm curling, like I won't go up to 40 or 50, I'll just 35, you know, curling those, like 21s, or I'll get down, do push-ups, and then my wrists are sore, like carpal tunnel, which they're not. It's not carpal tunnel, it's lazy wrists, because I haven't worked out doing the heavy compound presses. That means that it's still some healing going on, that my body will reflect. And then there are times when I feel some kind of way, you don't see it, but I turn the shower water on cold and jump in. I don't care. And I'd be like, I have to shock myself up, or if they'll find me dead and floating in a putrid mess of my own, which garden, the water running down the floor, and my cat hopefully gets a home. I speak that in reality, and I go in the morgue or whatever they're going to do, or tissues, whatever they're going to, it matters not. I don't think you have to remove fear. people. I think of all the people I grew up with, you know, who have gone. Whether it was Eric Banks, Ali Green, Durst, it doesn't matter who. Recently too, there's so many. Craig Gaskin, there was so many, and I loved every one of them. People I grew up with. Randy Key, even the most horrendous thing he did, there's so many. Derrick Rose, he was gay, and that's still my brother, man. Dance and everything, I loved him to death. Man, he was a good player. He could scrap. And there are nights when I'm thinking about all of the lost of them, and I shed tears. And it's good. Pow Pow, TJ's brother, people who was murdered, everybody I remember. And you would think, by the way I talk on Facebook to 07042 and people I grew up with, you would think that I would venerate hate, and I don't. It's another way that I see blindness, and I open myself to be contagious. I'd rather knowing to love me than hate me, to have them love me again in the proper way. Because the convictions I see that is dark. You know what it's like to sit there and want to hold your brother and sister's hands and talk with them, and you know that they're living a very dark adjective. So I have to do this. So if I can't touch all of them, I can touch somebody else. You know, it's like, and be an example. Like when I was in the military, it's one thing to tell people what to do, but it's another thing when you get in there, you jump up in the back of the hole, or you pick something up heavy, or you're loading ammo, but you're showing them what to do, and you do it a number of times, because you don't know who's got a quick memory, who's quick, who's a fast study, and those who takes a few more times. Some people have to write and read and listen in order to get it. So if I jump up on an aircraft, or if I jumped on the back of something, or I carried a Gatling gun, or I grabbed the ammo, or cleaned the rifles, or whatever it was, I made sure I did it regardless of how I learned it, where I was right beside everybody and we were laughing and joking. Even though I know I still had a lot of forms and paperwork to fill out. I didn't care. I said, I could do that. I can do it a little faster than what I used to do. I'm making sure my team, my guys, can do everything the way it's supposed to be done. So I'm going to read to you, regardless of whether it's fictional or a fact. I'm not telling you to run with it. I know I go hard sometimes. It's just to bring people over and then to say that's not what it's all about. I know I'm going to stir the pot. And then you be like, oh, you're going to do one? It's not kumbaya. I need you to know, get into yourself. Because there might be the day when you might turn around and go, Red, guess what I figured out? And it won't be on this. It won't be where everybody can watch it. Listen, you might be right there and be like, yo, Red, check this out. Oh, how? And you give me lessons. Or we might meet in the after. I don't know. You dig what I'm saying? I'm not one to be conflicted. I don't want to be around people yelling and screaming all the time. It seems not to be getting us nowhere. And people that need that, then they have other issues that I cannot solve for them. When they're ready to get past that point, and then they can come over here and, oh, but you said you was worse than Charleston White. There you go. The pot calling the kettle black. I'm in a different way. I'm doing the same thing, and it's just a different way. I'm being very informative about certain things, but I know how to drag you right on in. I know how to touch you because I know that your soul's weak. Let me go ahead and get into reading. And so I want to read a little bit out of the book of Giants, the Watchers, Nephilim, in the book of Enoch. It's like studying languages, you know. People always like, what is that? Oh, that's Vietnamese. You know, I'm always employing myself to a little bit. And I do things so that way, you know what I do? I practice covertly studying things because I know that they're watching everything. So sometimes when I'm off scene, away from this, and I have things that I can pull out my pocket, or I can unfold. I can look like I'm doing one thing when I'm doing another. Something you should probably, like sleight of hand. All right, so let's get in here. And this is by Joseph Lumpkin. All right. I always share the book because it's not that I'm not making nothing from this. Okay. And this is published by the Fifth Estate. The Fifth Estate, if y'all remember that, in Alabama, USA. Well, in America, okay? And the reason why I'm reading this, because you know later on I'll read the book of Enoch with Flatlandis. And I know we need to get back into the heavens bearers and all that, like I said I would. But I want to get through a little bit more of, excuse me, the navigator who crossed the ice wall. You see where we're at? We've only got a little more to go. Mario, I'm live. Hold on. Mario, I'm live, brother. Oh, shit. Excuse me, y'all. All right. My apologies. He doesn't know. Let's go ahead and get into this. That's my little native Mexican brother. So, all right. In the early days of scrolls research, scholars attributed all of the Qumran scrolls to the Essene community. In recent years, however, this consensus has been challenged and modified. At least it's saying the truth right there. Though many scholars still maintain a link between the Essenes and the Dead Sea Scrolls. Look up what the Essenes mean, people. Okay? In that time, the Essenes, and that's Essenes, okay, were one of the three basic sects of Judaism. And Jewish sects described in ancient sources were the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the Essenes sect. All right? They were. Now, you know why I have an issue that any of y'all that know things I've spoken on, you would know that the whole word Jewish, from what I've learned, is a new creation that happened somewhere in the mid-1800s. He's responding. I love you, little brother. Anyway, and a lot of it is to eradicate history when they let you believing that people walked around with robes and their fingerlings hanging everywhere and the breasts. That's not how that's ceremonial. We were clothed people with technology and everything. So you can actually, by reading these different things, recognize. But there's a source of information that's in here that we need to tap into. So what I always say, chew the meat, spit out the bone, chew the fruit, spit out the seed. That's what we need to do here. All right? Don't entertain the stuff that you're barking onto and you've been taught that keeps you nullified or dumbed down or in a coma. And the Essene sect. All right? So the sources were the Pharisee, the Sadducee. You see that? The Sadducee? But you would believe it's something else, right? And the Essene, sects. They were sects. Like a sect, a sector? Yeah. It is thought the majority of the scrolls were written and hidden by the Essenes. One of the many discoveries from the caves of Qumran is a scroll given the name the Book of Giants. Excuse me. It is thought to have been based on the Book of Enoch. And see, they didn't want to say nothing about our mountains. The fact that the giants that fought beside us, that's why I like reading The Navigator Across the Ice Wall, Flatlandis, and a few other books that we'll get into in the future, because they fought beside us. They were the bad ones, and they were the good ones. And it's funny that we always had stories in the Chickasaw and of the Yama Nation of fighting alongside giants and then fighting other giants who were perversion, and we buried them with royalties because they were a great people. Does it make sense? Anyway, the book of Giants. It is thought to have been based on the book of Enoch, or the epic of Enoch, which is close to Gilgamesh as well, but which is Noah, really. Listen to this, a pseudepigraphal or whatever, if any y'all graphical, excuse me, pseudepigraphical Jewish work from the 3rd century BCE, which was based on Genesis chapter 6 verses 1 through 4. The book of Giants, like the book of Enoch, concerns itself with the Nephilim, which in the Enoch version are the offspring of fallen angels, who are called the Watchers. And you know, in Terra Infinita, we learned that there's 2 different kind of angels out there on lands, on their own earths, who are mechanical and ones of fleshly wings. They're people who the custodians couldn't defeat. Right? Anyway, which was based on right. And like the book of Enoch concerns itself with the Nephilim, which in the Enoch version are the offspring of fallen angels, who are called the Watchers. The angels saw the beauty of the daughters of men, broke their allegiance to heaven, descended to earth, and married the women. Isn't that a kind of distraction to make you look elsewhere and be comfortable in the world you live in? So that way the worshiping gene can do his thing and you can worship a false god. I told you about Al-Ba'al, right? Yahweh. Now some Hebrews are starting to look at it like, well, we've been saying Yahweh and Yahshua, and yeah, well, you better get used to it. There's about 6,400 other names out there. Maybe less, maybe more. I don't know. Kind of makes sense when you start looking at other information in other books. It's like a tally. It's like you take a little, poll, and you say, wait a minute, well, why would this one write this? Why would that one write this? Why have this one been forced down our throat? Then it makes you want to disprove of everything, but then you don't know why it was done. So when you disprove of them, you become an atheist. You just walk around like talking, spewing big crap like I know a few brothers who are doing, and they make absolutely no sense. And they're not researching nothing else. These are the people that you need to stay far away from. Sadly, I say that. I don't say that with ill intentions. I say it for the benefit of self. So I'm going to read one more, and then we're going to go into that book, because that's a lot of reading, all right? Well, it's not a lot, but you know what I mean. The mention of Enoch and the storyline referencing the patriarch places the book of Giants firmly in the list of Enochian texts, along with 1 Enoch, 2 Enoch, and 3 Enoch. That's why I say it's important. Just don't see that right there. It's bigger than that. Like my old 3rd edition I have, which is expensive. Also known as the Ethiopic book of Enoch. Ethiopic book of Enoch. There's a whoo. And the Slavonic Secrets of Enoch, and which is a good book y'all should purchase. I'm not. Y'all don't donate $2, $3, $4, so I just get the little ones I can purchase. And the Hebrew book of Enoch, respectively, because this channel is not monetized, and I'm not going to be spending all my little $5,000 a month. And what I'm saving up, I have grown ass children. I've got, things I have to meet and things, and I'm also one that likes to put things away. If I don't use them, somebody else can. All right, and here we go with this last little part. In the Qumran version of the Book of Giants, there is a brief mention of one of the giants, Ohaya. Let me get this light out, because that's the one that gets him. He's down because he's looking for me to do the little thing with the phone and get him running all over the place. Excuse me. See, he's waiting for it. Hey, Papa, I love you. Hold on. I'm gonna let this down, even though I know you like the sun. You want to look at the light. You're not gonna do that. It's in my face, and I don't want it right there, Papa. Okay. We got them. He wants me to play so bad. Not right now, Poppy. All right. So let me say this again. Okay. Anyway, the Book of Giants. There is a brief mention of one of the giants, Ohaya. So I wanted to share that with Lex Will when I read it the other day, right? And I says, I remember that being told to me. But see, Hawa, you see the distractions to make you remove from the light of things? Better into the Shana, the darkness, Zuni, like black. In the Navajo language and other languages, is Jen, Zan. There's so many different names. It's compelling and complex, right? There's a brief mention, right? And Ohaya, Oha, you know, Oho, whose name is found in the Babylonian Talmud, Nida, chapter 9, where it is said Sihon and Og. Sound like something out of Lord of the Rings, right? Mentioned in the book of Numbers were brothers, as they were the sons of Ohia, the son of Samhazi. Samhazi? What was the name that I told you about? Simjaza? One of the leaders of the fallen angels in the book of Enoch. So you see how they, I'm going to start at. You see why it's important to read other things? It could be a big game. It could be a big gimmick. And then again, it could be meant for you to see, for them to see who's going to have, which individuals out there is capable of putting things together. Now, I don't think I'm telling on myself. But they look for special people. It's not about Hollywood and stuff, y'all. So that's why I say it's important for y'all to tap into your inner selves and find out what it is you're capable of finding out what the truth is. You know, I can sit here all day read and breaking things down, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the truth. But I know one thing, everybody I've been listening to and what I've been watching and seeing, even though I'm giving likes and not comment, hey, or, you know, I know a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. That I'm aware of. Sadly, I say that. I don't say that with a good heart. I don't say that with some morbidity of, ideological view and you don't listen. No, listen. You've got to be able to. You have to be able to conceptualize, to perceive, to mediate, to change. Or to be able to say, look, that's actually factual. And be able to deliver where you find it at. It may not necessarily be in a book, people. You might be going through an old parents' home, or if you're still there, or come across something that nobody else noticed, that was laid there by somebody that was meant for it to be found outside of the enemy's eyes. And you might be the one that can tap in and be like, holy smack, bing, something clicks on. I'm gonna tell you right now, like every time I be thinking, I actually know it's this side of the brain working like crazy. So now I've been focusing on this side to snap out of it, and weird things have been happening with my body. And this side been, the hair is standing up on my neck, on this side. I mean, some weird thing on this side of some weird things. Because I'm focused on it. Like, what is you supposed to be able to do, man? I'm like literally in my head knocking around like carefully, like, what are you supposed to do something? And then all of a sudden my hair's standing up on my neck. I'm not scared of nothing. Nothing's moving around me. Nothing's tapping on doors, nothing. And I'm like, whoa, what's that? And I'm not thinking about nothing. And then I'm like, okay. And then I get up and it's like I glide when I'm walking across the floor. Like I don't even feel the pressure on my feet. I'm just giving you little examples. Or I'll go turn the cold water on and I don't even feel the cold for the first like minute. Like I'm splashing on my face and everything going, dude, am I having my blood pressure something up? I don't have no blood pressure problem. And then I look in the mirror and I turn beet ass red and they go like pale ass. And then I go to some like dark brown, which I ain't really dark brown, y'all. I mean, my face will go like dark brown. I'll be sitting there going, I'm not scared, but what the fuck do I need to call 911? I'm being honest. Now, I shouldn't have said all that. Let me get into reading. Chapter 14, the artificial walls. Yeah, it bugs me out, y'all. So if you're having that happen, that's why when people are talking to me and they trying, I'm like looking at them like, I guess you just ain't been paying attention. Shit, huh? by entertaining with a good heart. So this right here is by my good brother Claudio Nocelli. Like I said, I messaged him, he hit me back. Thank you. I actually said a thing, said, I hope you don't mind me reading this. Doesn't mind. This is the navigator who crossed the ice walls. It's in Spanish. He's got a YouTube channel. The English it's all right. I'm ready to do a couple of videos and send it to him. Use these, brother, where I don't slip up making no mistakes and correct his punctuation. I actually was going in there putting commas and periods in certain places that are missing. Oh, he did a very good job writing. Don't get me mistaken. And this is Worlds Beyond Antarctica. Now I want to show y'all the map because even though I know I need to go ahead and make the one I said I'm gonna have to go to Flagstaff, and I'm just not into the driving 2-hour thing. People, I'm not gonna sit here and lie in your face. There's a better one right there. Hold on. Okay. This is for packages at the mailbox. Let me get this map and show you. I know it's cartoonish, but it's the way they made it, And the names will bop you in the head, man, when you see these things. Because this one right here has all the different lands. Terra Infinita, all the different lands, and it explains the people that live on these lands, and we've always thought outside of ourselves. It's just phenomenal. And it makes so much freaking good sense. But is it all an experiment? Maybe one of y'all might come across something one day and be like, no, it's actually real. Or, yeah, it's looking that way, Red. If I'm still here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we have to look at everything with caution, okay? But it is also very entertaining. You know what? That's part of it, but it's bigger than that. And you can actually Google and see what the map looks like. And you can see all the different lands. And we're actually dead in the center as far as it's saying 178 known lands. Outside of that, there's probably many more. I believe personally the earth is flat. I learned how to fly a Cessna. I never once had to do any of this shit. There's no vexing, no nothing. I had to keep it straight. And that's a long ways. So when I'm up in a jet, when I'm looking down, because I've flown inside, looking outside, hanging out the side of a helicopter, knowing how far I can see that way, and knowing the math of every 6 miles or 7, how far the Earth's supposed to drop. And if I see over that way 120 miles, I got issues with the Earth's a ball thing. I just from that alone. I don't know about the rest of you. I'm an artist. I understand perception, not depth and all that. I know when I'm drawing a city and the sidewalk has to meet in the middle as well as I'm not making nobody else believe this. If you want to believe what you want. But at them heights, 10,000 or whatever feet, and I can see that far that way, and I looked through a Saxon and saw, he hit me up saying it wasn't 400 miles, it was over 100, but it wasn't, I was like, oh, I was saying that, exaggerating a little bit. It was over about 100 miles, and it was a flotilla out there, and we could see it, and everything was flat. So take that for what it is. I don't know. I'm not here to believe what you want. All the big egotistical math stuff, I'm not doing all that. Anyway, so that's what it looks like. So let's go ahead and read this, chapter 14, the artificial walls. And all the lands don't have them, but enough of them do would lead you to believe that these bastards was jacking up. And there's a land where everybody was exterminated or taken away to another land to fight so they could study and watch. Anyway, we met in the boat that we used in these last trips between Thoth and El Arca. And Butler told the group almost the same thing that we had been talking about in the return vehicle. But he put more force to his words, and his joy overflowed in every part of his face. He had even got something to toast, and the whole group was at its most joyful since we arrived. Unfortunately, this joy was not penetrating my mind, and much less in my heart. I was still distantly trying to understand what would be the right move to change everything. And I kept wondering if this was really possible, and if so, how many years are there within the walls? No, excuse me. How many years it says there within the walls? Okay, will pass. Wow, I was totally involved in freeing my brothers in there. Punctuation is kind of in the wrong place, y'all. My apologies. That should be after the I. Anyway, Butler tried to cheer me up, and it was time to change history, and this didn't happen every day. So I hit my temporary disenchantment and joined in the toast. I mean, it shouldn't be an apostrophe there. My apologies. There was no need to even ask about a possible return to our homelands. This was ruled out by absolute. Somehow in the toast, I closed my eyes with prayers towards the loved ones I feared I would not be able to see again. Can a prosperous place like this be enjoyed if not shared with loved ones? And he was homesick. You can't blame him to learn the stuff that he learned. Butler knew inwardly. He went ahead to tell us that we would soon be visiting the known lands again, and that we would help much more on this side than by entering there and becoming an easy custodial prey. They would never forgive such a betrayal of escaping from their nets, and on top of that, recovering a large part of history that was never told. And we, the whole group, did not care what they really thought either, but it was our duty to take care of ourselves and stay away from for the time being, and plan our next visit. Excuse me. It should be apostrophe right there before the end. Butler brought us a lot of information on how the Republic worked. He also gave us several books, and among them, many on the languages spoken there. As in Renaker and elsewhere English was spoken to perfection. There were several books with translations of the arcane language to English and vice versa. As the captain said, it was time to start studying. Excuse me. Several years had passed. Among so many things I learned during my stay was that time passed slower in these lands compared to the known lands. It was undoubtedly what I had more trouble understanding. There was a whole library on time, perception, and sense of the passage of time. As an experienced person with a background in major battles in the United States Naval Force, I eventually gained Fayel's trust, and by unanimous decision, lights a little bit of down. Unanimous decision, I became the Naval Commander-in-Chief of the Ancestral Republic. From there, I was able to study more about the defense of the Republic, its technology, and its development, along with the visions of the future. We carried out projects of possible attacks on the known lands without affecting civilian life, but the missions were almost always discarded due to the difficulty I had in finding the real bases of the custodians. Since they moved from one place to another using portals and also almost never had long stays in the lands, but returned to their always leaving some leader guarded. I remember last time I read that. That was just so, yeah. Anyway, you get what I'm saying there? Since they moved from one place to another using portals and also almost never had long stays in the lands, but returned to theirs, always leaving some leader guarding. It was really easy for them with the implementation of the ice walls. The human possibility of even reaching the first dome was almost impossible. Besides the conditioning that existed by the media and the academy, they had already created humans that would repeat to exhaustion what their books said. Clone centers, y'all, then destroy them, and now hide them in mountains or underground? I don't know. You find out and let me know. And would even guard the walls until death without knowing that they really existed behind them. Only by order of their superiors. Wow. The creation of paper money was also key for everything to work according to his master plan. Now everything was given so that the humanity of the known lands would never know their true origin, nor the lands that were waiting for them behind those frozen curtains. Can you imagine any possibility that the human, with the little technology that existed, could navigate between giant blocks of ice, find even a passage and not even know if that passage would give him the possibility of crossing that dome? The possibilities were clearly reduced to 1 in a million, but we had succeeded and they were aware of it. So it would not be strange to think that they would use the human militia to guard their own brothers, and most of them out of ignorance, and others for royalties. The bases in that means, I guess, betrayal as well. The bases in the Antarctic Ring and exclusion zones, would not take long to arrive. As Butler predicted some time ago, it was known that other security measures would be taken because of the past war, and the defeat and reborn would bring consequences. These are some warlike motherfuckers. Did I just say something? These custodians are warlike like a motherfucker. That's all they know. Anyway, chapter 15, manipulation in the known lands. I'm going to be careful with that thought. Manipulation in the known lands. In all this time that has passed, I became more and more an arcane ancestral. I did not handle the language to perfection, but I made myself understood. I was interested in science and technology. I tried to learn as much as I could from those minds really advanced and specialized in the matter. I learned a lot about how our body works in as much detail as I could, and the bacteria that lived in us, and what was different from a real disease to one created by laboratory. They were more surprised than me when the group made us different analysis to see everything we transported from our homelands. There were so many bacteria and viruses that had been modified and created for different purposes by the custodians that it was difficult to count. In fact, it was known that their plan was still going on every year to continue creating new ones. Hello. I'm gonna be careful with that though. They had people infiltrating the lands who passed information every so often. With Butler and the attack on Reborn, they stopped sending men for quite a while. Excuse me. Woo, get that out. And neither, quite a while. Yeah? Oh, okay, that's catchy. For quite a while. And neither did the infiltrators come back to make sure they could not be discovered working there. The whole operation would fall apart, and we needed as much information from in there as possible. We had to be one step ahead of them, or else we would never have a chance to win. I was getting used to the fact that there was no social difference. Check this out. And we all lived relatively the same way, and no one lacked the basics to have a full life. The president of the republic and a group of leaders, although they lived in a remote rural area, by their own decision, did not have any luxury, nor did they receive a different salary from the rest. Anyone had a voice in politics, and in parentheses, if you can call it that, since it differed significantly from the known lands. And their ideas were listened to. There was no crime at all, and for obvious reasons, no penitentiary. Respect for the life of others was the main model, and everyone voluntarily adapted to it. Who created the drug problem? Who created incarceration? Who manipulated the music? Who are they using to continue it? Who's manipulating the food and destroying the farmlands? Who's destroyed all the factories that house food? Who are the individuals talking about NHI and this, that, and other, NWO? What are people not paying attention to? Why is religion such a lie, but they actually utilize it to control the people and to create wars? Who are the fanatics behind it? How are people so easily manipulated? Have any of these questions crossed any of your minds? I can keep going on, but I don't feel like I need to. Respect for the life of others was the main motto, and everyone voluntarily adapted to it. It was something natural that was breathed every day. Spirituality and introspection were fundamental and were taught from childhood. Spirituality is very key. They were part of the education, first going through spiritual growth and then moving on to the rest. So if you claim the spirits of Anunnaki as your saviors, what do you think your attitude and your aptitude is going to be? Well, you see it by them: anger, rage, putting tattoos of things on their body that shouldn't be there. They tried not to have an image of themselves, since the mind could deceive them imagining that they were something or someone for others, when in reality they would be based on the subjectivity of others. That's why it's not good to have all these statues and all this stuff is destructive and very deceiving and deceptive. Not having an image and not living from the past were pillars that I struggled to understand for years. Two fundamental pieces of a puzzle destined for such growth. They called it the death of the ego. Isn't it funny that the Christians say, the God says, make no object, but they'll make all this thing for conquest of war and shit as if that's the Christian duty. Islam, the same fucking thing. It's like, what's the psychosis? How is this happening? I'm not here spitting on your religions. I'm just saying, I call bullshit what bullshit needs to be called. And then I don't see no spiritual lifting or uplifting in there. I see a deeper, darker depth of darkness. Anyway, I struggle to understand for you, based on the subjectivity of others, not having an image and not living from the past were pillars that I struggled to understand for years. Two fundamental pieces of a puzzle destined for such growth. They called it the death of the ego. From there, they based any knowledge, that means his ego had to be wiped clear, killed off. From there, they based any knowledge and learning that would come later, never the other way around. First to know oneself, and then to know the world around them. Hello! I've been saying that for a long time, long before I got these books, y'all know that. I said, you gotta look inside yourself. You've gotta find you. And I know a lot of you are not meditating to find you. And it's arduous. It's a beat up, man. They taught me a lot about the great masters who had visited our earths and who were still remembered. The messages they tried to deliver based on what was written before. But all those messages had seemed distorted or intermingled with dirty business by the custodial sector. They would never let spiritual growth become present in each one. Besides mixing it with dirty money, they would also infiltrate several people who would confuse spiritual growth with religious themos to confront sectors or simply false prophets who predicted future chaos. The few periods of growth that existed within the walls of ice went hand in hand with moments of peace, without great warlike conflicts, but sooner or later some great war would come. Or attacks, plagues, pandemics, always elaborated from some sector, in parentheses, always from the same radicalized power. You know, the custodians. That would interrupt human progress, with possible spiritual growth, and this was not going to stop. Politics was also implemented in conjunction with various societies that led in the control of these limits, manufactured from the beginning, and that would be modified according to the many wars that existed until today. The so-called countries were just another form of control, where there were supposed leaders who ruled, but in reality were easily adapted to the same custodial power. This hierarchical form of control based on the paper money system would be key to absolute control in the development of this new humanity. See how people right now are worried about the dollar? But if y'all would get your heads out your ass and we was all together, that'd be the last thing of your fucking problems. You'd be like, nigga, imagine about 80 million of us getting together and saying, motherfuckers, y'all better stay the fuck away from here. But see, let me shut up. Anyway, science, development of this new humanity. All right, so anyway, this hierarchical form of control based on the paper money system would be key to absolute control in the development of this new humanity. Science would then enter its key role where it would drag society to an extreme spiritual emptying, basing its life on mere material facts. People would then seek to increase their collection of colored paper and would turn away from love of their surroundings, even for themselves, and their image would be transformed and reduced forever into simple biological functions, BBLs, ribs taken out, wearing shit around your waistline, plastic surgery, your lips swelled up, the damn stupid wigs on your head with lace fronts and shit, niggas putting charcoal, whatever that stuff. I can go on and on. Even not letting your cuticles and your nails breathe, putting all that ceramic and all that chemical and all that bullshit. For what? And then to sit there talking to men stupid and run out and getting drunk, and you can't fight with the shit anyway. Okay. Even for themselves, the image would be transformed and reduced to forever simple biological functions, what would then be the dream of a profoundly sick society. The real battle would then be found internally in each of the humans of the known lands, but their realities would be distorted, always imagining that the central problem is the others. Hate would win over love. By the time humans would notice it, would already be too late. The road to a great dictatorship would seem inevitable. One world religion, one fiat control. The true feelings of love and spiritual growth as a whole would be less and less valued. And without this, we would do little from here, since they would take us as bitter enemies and would join the custodians without knowing it to annihilate us. Their military forces work together when only a minority knows it. The great positions, and not all of them. The system was in place and only details were left for the humans alone. Listen, the system was in place and only details were left for the human alone, without even knowing it, to walk the path that the custodial power had drawn in his destiny. Then the humans would only take care of this system, and the lack of spiritual growth added to the real value given to the material, and the system based on paper money was all that a society needed to fall into the vile plan and defend it to the death. All the fellas coming here, murdering our people, fighting our people, they were empty. Chapter 16, the plan to free the human being. We'll read that tomorrow. It's only a few chapters left. I could keep going reading, but no, I'm not going to do that. Oh man, where did I put the... Did I put it back in here? Yeah, it goes. My bookmark. So, I hope that was enjoyable. I know it's hard for people to stay around, especially with me. I got to punctuate everything, it seems like. Not everything. Because it got, for some reason, it got a little better as we got to the end there. Hey, look at this one. He is like, brother, he is chilling. He's getting up on the comforter. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You can't mess with him right now, you know? But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed that. We'll read some more tomorrow. I'm gonna come on a little later because I want to read the Heaven's Bearer. I gotta read that. You know, we'll finish Flatlanders up tomorrow because me finishing this off right here, we'll finish Flatlanders Enoch. We'll read that tomorrow. But finishing off won't be finishing these two, but we'll be finishing Mudflood 101. And with those pictures and everything, you'll have a better understanding of this. And then down the road, we've got some more books over there, a whole lot actually, but I want to get into those. And we'll worry about 1493, 1491, way down the road, because you'll have a better conception when I'm reading that. You'll be able to dictate different things to yourself while I'm reading it, to have where I won't have to say a whole lot. Now, if you ask something, then I'll be able to interject in that reading when we get to those. But we got a few books to get through before we even get there. Okay? So I appreciate it. I'm gonna give a few more shout outs and maybe see if there's some questions or something I can answer, and then I'm gonna relax. Hey, Tolo. Worthless dominance, right? Salutes, you know what? Sex Chat 69. I know. Well, you know what? You would think it won't be there because it's their system. They're the ones allowing it. I have to say that. They didn't even let the live start before they was in here. I know. I'm glad you jumped on it, bro. Hey, Reploid. What's up, sis? Here's the map, $20, save you. Oh, okay. That's the map. It says youtube.com. Product. Okay. Awesome. Awesome work. Let me type that in. Let me type that in. Okay. Okay. Let me type that in. All right. Here comes the sun. Do 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 do. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right. All right. / YouTube boogie. Oh yeah. / product. / 04163 and 7,000. That's the product number. Let's see what it pulls up. This page isn't available. What? Well, how many zeros? It was 3. I put it in just right. It says not found. Let's go back. Let's type it in again. That didn't make sense. All right. I put it in right too. Okay. Make sure I spelled it right. Okay, yeah. All right. And that's / product, right? Yeah. Zero. Make sure it's 04163. And that's 7,000, right? Yeah. Why would it not bring it up? Oops, something went wrong. Please try again. Motherfucker. It's saying something went wrong. I'm just going to tap on that. That's retarded. Why would it do that? Anyway, I'll tap on it. It kept saying something went wrong. Look at this. I'll just check on it. I'll check on them. Oh, yeah. Like I said, I'll make them. It doesn't matter. Hey, Joshua Northern. What's cracking, brother? How you doing? No, we don't get discouraged over little things like that. Type in search engine, NOS confound them. That's what. Well, actually, I had that in. I already had that up. I still want to make mine. Mine's is different. Well, yeah, the map is there. I was going to make these to mail out. I'm not spending no $20. I was going to make them and send them out to everybody cheaper. Yeah, and I was going to make them. That was if you I don't think you saw last time I did them. I'm going to make the maps on paper, on the cardboard, and roll them up, put them in little tubes, and send them out to everybody. That's why I have I'm not, like I said, that's why I have the witch card. It's for books, but it's also whatever people give something extra, I'll make sure I set something aside. So when I go do this, I have enough to make these maps, whether it be at Staples or whatever, and get them made the way they should be, and then send them out to everybody for free. That's what I stated a couple of months ago. So, well, yeah. That's actually what I was going to use. I already have this saved. When I put it up, it went back over to like, I guess 300 things away. But yeah, this is the exact same thing I have. A matter of fact, I showed everybody last time I was reading the lies. I appreciate it though, hun. Oh, definitely. Actually, the one I think I saved it on my tablet, but I want to see if I can find the one that I actually saved because it was so perfect. It wasn't all blurry and all that, so I want to be able to enlarge it because a lot of these are made by people, other people that have read the book. Let me see if this was the one. See, a lot of these you can't even read it because these people took a picture out the book or off a TV, and it just sucks butt. You can't read none of them. I have one where I can read it. I can enlarge it. Let me see. That is excellent. Somebody actually I think somebody made a copy of the map for themselves, and they put it on where you can read everything. Let me see if it's on here. I don't see it now. Hope they ain't trying to hide it. Most confounded means no confusion, for those who don't know. Was it this one? Oh my God, that'd make my eyes worse right now. I'm working to make them better. What in the world? Whoo, child, that's just, woo, my eyes just did the hootie with the wow, what the woo. Oh my goodness, I don't even want to let y'all see that through the damn camera. That was just ridiculous. Somebody was trying to be funny. Whoo, shit. That hurt my eyes, man. All right, where's the big? Oh no, that got me looking up. See, that's why you gotta be careful with this stuff. Things you can look at something. I don't know if that was done on purpose. Made my eyes blurry than them all. All right, let me see if we can pull a good one. It's the one that I think this was the one right here. This is the one that I pulled up. This is the one I'm used to make a map with. And I like the way it's laid out. That's what I want to be laser printed on the what do you call that? Oak tag. For like the poster paper, Anyway, so that was the one right there. This is the one I had saved. If I remember right, this is it because Terra Infinita map, Worlds Under the Great Dome. So this is the one I had saved before because it was from the Funny Company. So, people are gonna laugh or whatever, but yeah. And this is the actual what it will look like laid out, the softback. So that's a really good one. And I want to show y'all something too on this map. I want you to see. Let me see if I can enlarge it. Anunnakis, Mars. I know it was right by us. And let me see if I can. Oh man, I knew it. I had found it before. Oh, you know what? It is so small. The Dracos, which they're close to, the lizard people. I don't know. I'm just saying. Lands of Neptune. They all. When we get into the other books, you're gonna see all those. You're gonna be like, what in the world? I'm serious, y'all. It's something else. And it mean, like I said, it just makes it. The lands of Vega, it's gonna have you like wondering what in the world, you know what I'm saying? And what's funny about the Anunnaki lands, it's surrounded by a lot of desert. It's as far as the map, and this was created by the daughter of Mr. Morris. And where is it at? All right, this one was better, but this ain't the most best. And I know that they can make them look a little better. Lands of Qatar, Albanian. I think it was the one dead smack in the center, because you had the lands of Venus and Mars very close as well. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna hold this up, and I believe this is us right in the middle, right here. That is us, supposedly, right there, right here. Atlantis, lands of the unknown, Atlantis, all of it, not just one particular place. Remember what he said earlier in the book? It makes perfectly good sense. Let me see if the copy I have is. No, we don't want free. Get your ass out of here. Excuse my French. Y'all know I got a bad mouth. Okay. All right. So the northernmost point would be right there. And that is us out of the 178 known lands. And it's funny how the Anunnaki's right next to us. All right? The Anunnakis who fought with the custodians. But the custodians, that anywhere mostly places you see ice walls or where the Anunnaki went. And one of them, there's nobody there no more. The lands are just flourishing. They destroyed all the people and took what was left there. Did they bring them here? I don't know. We just read in the book and we see what they say. And what land was that was destroyed? Was that Albernian? Lands of Draco? Who remembers? Because they've been to a lot of lands, y'all. They conquered a lot of lands. One of them, I think one of the places, like, the people are almost aquatic, like it's underwater, like that. Terra Egonito. It's like what you would think the water people or something. I don't know. They don't discuss every land on here. There's 178, but they go to the ones that they have a little more knowledge. There's another land that is kind of like ours as well, or a few of them. But it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. Okay? So, appreciate that, huh? We're surrounded by idiots. Mars to the right of us, Anunnaki to the... Great love. What's going on, beloved? What's happening, family? Yeah, Reploid's a she. I've said it numerous times. They're our beloved sister. By the person I grew up with. No, I'm just messing with you. You gotta listen. What's happening, Kendrick? What's going on, Ken? Mars to the right of us, Anunnaki to the left. That cracks me up. Yeah, it's all good, people up here. I wonder, that's why the path is straight or narrow. It's possible. You know, I think it's all good. It's all good information. I enjoy reading. So that's why I enjoy doing it with you guys. I like to, I read a lot. I guess if I was a teacher, I think I probably would be in the silent because punctuation, if you just don't put them commas in the right place. They're on Facebook and Instagram and all that. I don't care about all that. I just write. You're going to read it and figure it out because I don't even care about I don't care about what somebody's thinking of filling on there. The place is an emotional beehive. People are so wrecked. And you can see it every time how people react to a comment. I'm like, whoa, sir. That was really unnecessary. But I'm not there to make correlation to correction either because it's the worst place to do it, you know? But I enjoy reading, you know? And more recently, a lot of books that have come out in the last few years, a lot of them are missing the proper enunciation. Well, my enunciation is my enunciation, but a lot of commas and periods. You know, there's times when you don't need a comma before the and because it's not so much a carry on, but you can dictate where the message is going. And then there's times when you're reading and it sounds like you're not taking a breath and you realize, oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, that's a break. Well, hold on. That's leading to something else. Why? And then I go back and I'm like, oh, my goodness. And I'm like, oh, comma, period. Oh, semicolons. That leads to something. You see a word with no, and it's like, wait a minute. You're leading somewhere. Quotation. You're leading somewhere to someone to somewhere. This has got to be, you know. And so a lot of books I've been getting, unless they're old books, lately, like newer, like 2019 and so on, the books have been, the punctuation, man, they didn't have nobody critiquing that stuff. But they're good reads. Now, again, I'm going to say this. I'm not saying these are factual. I'm saying because you got to do the research. And like I said, I'm reading a whole bunch of different books and I'm able to like a kaleidoscope. Let things fall into place. That doesn't mean that it's right either. It can all be me putting a puzzle together that misleads people further down the wrong path. That's why I keep saying when I'm doing this, I'm always telling you, you're capable of so much more, and you must, before anything, master self. It don't mean that you're gonna walk around curing cancer with your brain and shit. And I don't have a clue. I'm not denouncing. I'm not speaking no curse or words of mitigating terms of surrender. I'm just saying where I'm at right now is one thing. I cannot speak for you. You might fly up to the damn, land on my roof talking about red, open the window and flying in. Oh shit. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I'm just reading. It's entertainment. And when it's fiction, I'm gonna let you know. Other than that, you've got to do the work. And I'm going to keep putting things together. There's a whole lot of books out that I have that go together with one another. When I start getting into those, you're going to be like, whoa, that's what I've been doing for a long time. You know, the beautiful thing is when you're reading something in an old gazette or newspaper, and then you hear something on the TV or you see a movie and you go, that's not how the fuck it was. And they don't know that you used to be a microfiche surfer going through all the old newspapers and reading all articles on lynchings and buildings that aren't where they say they were no more. Oh, well, that's a big building. I thought that was the old West six-shooter, gunslinger, bow, bow, bow. Well, that happened on the outskirts of certain places. People weren't allowed into the cities. A lot of these Palestinians came here, they weren't allowed. They didn't know nothing about the cities. Only a select few who would rewrite the narrative. And then once the narrative was starting to be rewrote, they went about, after having the first generation become the maturity, they went about making sure the wars were ongoing to start destroying them. Do you get it? And that's a reality, a truth. And then they started mitigating a false history and then playing the history out in Hollywood. So who is working with the custodians, if you want to see it that way? Who is working with the Anunnaki? Who is being deliberate? Who is fashioning the Arduino's computers and this, that, and other after something that was long destroyed? I don't know. I'm just suggesting. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a fact. I'm saying look at it. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. That's all I can say. I can't say nothing else. Is there a truth there? I don't know. That's cold water and it feels good. Nazi Zionism, you know it, brother. I want to, Nazi Zionism. I have an issue with the word Nazis. I believe it was another creation to give us a focal point. You know what I'm saying? I know, bro, I got you. I believe that it was a focal point to have us focus in another direction. And you know, with wars and everything, the desensitization, it lets you move further away from your spiritual truth. Now, some people get back to religion and they find a way to make themselves happy, not knowing it's them doing it. And they still have the nightmares, and then some actually get over it, but I'm talking about soldiers. And then the people in the street. This stuff removes everything. It creates another dynamic. And then they play war movies all the time to make you glorify war. We're the greatest! While they're preparing your fall. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying it's a fact. It's up to you to look at it and decide and determine for yourself how you see it. You feel me? But did you get what I know, honey. You see what I was saying? I am utilizing what Rondo put up. It's the fact. But then I'm going a little step further and saying, I know a lot of people in the combat and they're desensitized. And then when they start mitigating their love again, it's so introverted, even in relationships. And wars create an environment, as we were reading, right, the last few chapters, to make you less spiritual, to put the perversions, to harden you. And the same thing about how our peoples were land stolen and then put into these ghettos where the Zionists once lived, and then cooperated with entities in a fake government to either be destroyed, flooded, murdered when they realized they couldn't get rid of us in the great numbers. They know the wars we fought, and they know what we're capable of. It's just the people who they have convinced in the lies they live, like these fake natives. I have to call it for how it is. These pale skins. Look at the Cherokee Nate. He's a custodian, or he is what do you call it? Cooperator. What do they call it in the vampires? You know, somebody that wasn't turned, but they got the little mark, you know, blade. That's what they are. And they feel safe doing it. And then you have people walking around here who are half us, or pale skins, or in gray and something else. An experiment of sorts, using maybe animal DNA, possibly. You dig what I'm saying? So, the fact of the matter is, we have to step back into our spiritual consciousness, our light. We must step back into that. Now that I'm saying based on the fact, we must look inside ourselves to find ourselves. We can't find ourselves in nobody else. You know what they say? Man, he got lost in that girl. He just went crazy and killed the whole family up. Oh, she got lost in that nigga. She just smashed the baby head and ran his ass over. Oh, they didn't take her. No, bitch pulled a gun out, stabbed herself in the neck. I'm just saying, you must get lost in yourself, but not lost. You must get found by finding yourself. Does that make sense, people? So I can read all day. I'm doing that just to, besides entertainment, I'm doing it with hope that you can, like I said, we can chew the fruit and spit out the seeds. And spit the seeds in a direction, a place where they can sprout and grow, like germinate, germinating. So anyway, let me go ahead and get off of here. I'm gonna go ahead and relax, and in a few hours I'll be back on, because the Heaven Bears, you already know that one. We're gonna say rated R on that one, but it's not for anybody under 18. So, and we'll finish up the pictures and the mud flood, and we'll correlate the Heaven Bearers along with the reset. Well, the exposition. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up, of 1815 and 1851. Excuse me, and 1915. All right, one that's by Howdy Mikowski, and boy, there's a number done on us, man. Wow. Anybody destroyed all that from this earth? Can't be. Or they made a deal with somebody else, something, because they damn sure didn't build those in that time, and only something else could promise and have somebody else doing, unless it's their children. You dig what I'm saying? Yo, what's going on, Virginia Harris? Look at Genesis 6, Giant surviving today, Mel. Awesome. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I got that one too. Yo. All right, well, I'm going to shut it down, guys. Share this. Anybody come in, you haven't subscribed, subscribe. We're going to grow. I want to get a lot more subscribers around. And we're just going to keep moving forward, you know, read and read. I want to get to the point where I'm just reading. You might not see it, but me interjecting and asserting things, I think it's a benefit, but I feel like I'm getting tired of doing that. I just want to read. Be like, hey, look, this is what we're reading right now. Now, in the reading, I'll interject. All right? And if a troll come in, we'll let them come in and let them do all they did, not the sex stuff, y'all. We're not like that. But we'll let them come in and do their little cartwheels and say, oh, we got the circus. And let the clowns be the clowns. We don't worry about it. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everybody taking the time. And y'all have a good evening, and I'll see y'all here in a few hours.